Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at Final Girl. This is a solo-only board game. It's a horror board game. There was a version. There was a game called Hostage Negotiator, and I never got that. But then they reskinned it, rethemed it into a horror board game, and I snapped this up. I don't know what it is, but I've been getting into horror the past couple of years. So this is a solo-only board game, which may be a weird concept for some people, but so I am the final girl. For those of you who are horror fans, the final girl is the last girl left. Like Laurie from Halloween is the most famous of the final girls. So she's the one girl left, and she's up against Hans. Look at that. Look at Hans. He's got a pig mask and a hammer. So there's rules for every scenario. So just look at this. This is called season one, and these boxes are called movies. So this movie is Dr. Fright. And this movie is called, what is this called? Incanyaba. It's, I don't even know. And this is Poltergeist. And there's, I think this is two movies. This is, it's got the name of the monster. This is Geppetto and the Carnival. And these are extra characters and so on and so forth. And this is season two. And Madness in the Dark. Madness in the Dark. Once Upon a Full Moon. This is a werewolf. A Knock at the Door. Some sort of demon. This is definitely goofing on The Thing. It's The Organism, and it's set in the North Pole. And Into the Void. This is like some sort of Lovecraftian horror. So these, and the one I'm playing right now, what's set up is Camp Happy Trails. So this is like a Friday the 13th. So it's the first scenario. And what you do is you open up these boxes, and it'll give you the base game has like basic cards and dice and all the things you need to play. And then the little movie boxes will give you scenario specifics. Like this is Hans. This is the monster Hans. And when this is Hans' attributes. Every time Hans kills somebody, you move this up and he gets more and more powerful. This is the horror. We move the horror. Every time he gets more powerful, the horror level goes up. And that means the final girl, in this case it was Raiko, poor Raiko rolls less and less dice as the horror level goes up. And then he gets to move more. He gets to do more damage every time he attacks. And when you get to this level, you flip. It starts out like this. I already ruined the reveal, but it starts out like this. And when this token gets to this level, you flip this over and he levels up. This is the monster, Hans. The bad guy levels up. So whenever he attacks you, he also attacks a villain and not a villain, a victim, and vice versa. So if he attacks a victim, he'll also attack you. That's if you're in the same spot. And then at the end, we got these terror cards. So let's just start out with, so what happens is I go first. So I'm over here on this map doing my business. And I have these cards. These are called action cards. And I play a card. So focus is I just calm down, I focus, and then I roll the dice. So if I'm at this level, I roll 2 dice. And this means if I discard 2 more cards, I'll get a success. So this would be a success. So let's just pretend, for the sake of argument, that would be an abject failure. An abject failure would be no successes, so I just lose time. And then it starts out at 6, and my time goes down to 4. When my time hits 0, I'm done. There's nothing else I could do. But if I do the focus, let's just say for the sake of argument, I get 2 successes. Stars would be successes. Then what happens is the horror would decrease. So I'd go into this green over here, and I would gain 2 times. So instead of 6, I'd go to 8. And now for my next roll, I would get 3 dice. So I just successfully focused. And then I'm going to rest. So now I get to roll 3 dice. And what did I get here? Okay, I got 1 success. This is I could discard 2 cards, and this is a failure. So 1 success is I heal 1 heart. So this is where I was. I heal 1 hit, but I lose a time. It's red, so my time goes down. And you manage your cards. What do I want to do? Do I want to walk? Do I want to focus? And then either at some point I'm going to decide I don't want to do anything anymore. So let's just say I was at my time was 4 and I don't want to do anything else. Then I look over here and I could purchase cards for next turn. Like, do I want to search? that'll help me get items like in this game, I had a garbage can lid as a shield that protected me for 1 damage. I also had a little knife, and maybe I want to sprint so I can cover more ground, or improvise. That'll help my. I love this, the distraction ultimate card. It just he goes and gets farther away, so I lower the horror. This is a critical blow. Look at that. I do 3 damage to him and reduce the horror. That's just so cool. A long rest. Look, you're gonna need that. But this is 5. I need to have 5 time to buy this card. So one turn I might do nothing. Just wait so that I have 6, or maybe I'll do a focus, get 2, and then do nothing, and then I can purchase 2 big cards. And that's it. It's like frustratingly wonderful, if that makes sense. And then after I do everything, so I buy my cards, I have my cards up, then Hans will go. So originally, when he set up, this is the monster's basic move. So he'll target the final girl or a victim and then attack. But there's nobody in his space, so he does nothing. But then I flip over a terror card. And these always make me crack up. What's that noise? Let's go and see. You can see that in every horror movie. So if there's no victim, if there's no victims in the board, discard this and draw another terror card. So that'll cycle through it faster. So you need victims on the board to slow the game down. The more Hans kills, the faster it goes to the finale, and we'll talk about the finale later. So all victims move 1 space towards the enemy. You can see that in every horror movie. Hey, what was that noise? Let's go and see. And then everybody moves 1 space towards the enemy. So they move over here. Then after they move, it says here he'll either target the final girl first, but the final girl's not in the spot, then a victim, and they'll do 1 damage. And right over here, we look at, he does 3. Well, all victims die with 1. So boom, this guy's murdered. Look at this murder pool after my last game. This would make the blood go up, and then he only gets 1. And then he goes, targets another victim and moves towards them, and he would move 2. But there's a victim in the space, so he's going to stay there. And you just follow the directions for the cards. There's 10 cards. After the 10th card is drawn and there's no more cards, you reveal the finale. And then look at this. Whenever it's his turn, he gets all of this attack. So he'll target the final girl or the victim, move twice, and then attack twice. And remember, every time he attacks, for each attack symbol, he'll attack the final girl and the victim, and then each attack does 3 damage. Well, poor Rico only starts with 6. So you gotta get something to shield, or you buy a lot of these cards. Where are the cards? This was my final hand of cards. So I had a weak attack. You buy a guard card, so you roll the dice if it's a blue card, that means you use it when you're being attacked, or you plan. There's another one. Why can't I see it? But it's retaliate right here. You buy retaliate and then ignore all damage and then do damage back. So when he attacks you, you deflect him and attack him back. You do some kung fu action. It is so cool, so cool. And there's only 1 critical blow card, and whenever the card goes into your used deck, it stays there until after you buy the card. It's like a cooldown period. So you don't want to use cards willy-nilly. And you don't want to discard cards to turn like this die roll into a success, because you're not going to be able to see it for a couple of turns. It's just gloriously fun. And then I kickstarted it, so it came with all of this stuff. So if you were to buy this game, instead of having this Ryko mini, you would use this generic figure, this generic pawn, and then instead of Hans, you would have this generic pawn. But that's fine. That works too. But since I kickstarted it, I got this box of miniatures, and so I got monsters for each movie, and then I got little figures for each final girl. So this, it says right on the bottom. Can you read that? It says Ryko. So I know that I use this one when I'm playing with Ryko. Oh, and every time I save somebody, I put they're saved here, and I get abilities. So if I put it here, I would heal 1. I put it here, I got 2 time. I put it here, and I get the planning card. There's a card over here just called planning. It's in my hand, or did I just use it? Planning. Oh, planning card. This is great. It just gives you all these extra dice. So if I get 2 successes, I'll get 3 extra dice on my next roll, and then I'm just gonna, do critical blow. So you want to set up your cards for a nice combo. And then when you rescue all of them, you get to flip it over and you get an extra bonus power. Once per action phase, if an enemy is within 2 spaces, you may move to that enemy space. So Raiko could just jump up and surprise them. And then for every other additional victim that I save, I get an extra power. Then there's like cool little events. So like this Terra deck, you see there's a whole bunch of Terra cards, and they're specific to each scenario. So you shuffle them up and you only use 10. So it's never going to be the same. Some of them trigger these events. Like at the beginning, you start with an event. So at the beginning, it was place the Dark Waters token. So I took this little skull and I put it here in the lake. This is the only portion where victims and players and Hans could go, and anything but Hans who goes, it just drowns. There's something in the water that just kills you, you know. So that's not there all the time, but that just made it a little. Basically, that made one spot, because anytime Hans pops into a space with the victim, if they survive, they panic and you roll the dice and it's all random. That's what these little numbers are. So like if you're over here, you could jump into the water and then die. Just makes the game harder and that much fun. I love. I've played this game. I'm gonna say 9 times, and I just won once. I finally beat the game once, and it was pretty cool because this is the you see this little envelope says for Laurie's eyes only. Underneath here, I didn't even realize it, but there's another one that says for Raiko's eyes only. So it's a little hidden secret envelope, and I didn't want to open it until I won as Laurie. So I finally won as Laurie, and then I opened it up, and it's a bow and arrow. So she's like Katniss from those movies. Raiko's, I don't know what's in it yet because I didn't win as Raiko yet. And you could put all the final girls in this thing in this little slot, because this box is for the basic box. You need this box for every game. It has like the hearts and the dice and the victims, you know. So you need this, and then you have these little tokens. These tokens are so Raiko has 6 hit points. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you take these away, and when this is left, when this goes away, you flip it over. Oh, she has no more extra hit points. She's dead. But if I was to have this one, I flip it over. Oh, no, she's dead. They're randomized. Let's just say this one, and boom, she has 3 more hit. So you don't know if you're dead or not until the last token is taken away. And it's the same with Hans. So he has 12 hit points. The last one, I flip it over. Yay, he's actually dead. Or horribly, you flip it over, he has 3 more, and you're like, just like in every horror movie, you knock Jason down, and then all of a sudden he opens his eyes and gets up one more time. So this is everything that comes in this, with the exception of these are all extra. But I kickstarted it, so it came with this Final Girl box of props, and here's a little summary of what's in it. I didn't look at it yet. I wanted to open it up with you guys so I could be surprised with you. And these boxes are so cool. Look at that. It's got a magnetic. Look at that. It closes magnetically. So let's open it up together. Okay, so what do we got here? Final Girl box of prop rules. Okay, so it comes with rules. Oh, there's another book underneath. Okay, doesn't put. So this is the rule book of how to use the stuff that comes in here. What do we got here? The Book of Desperate Deaths. Oh, God. Gruesome. Oh, cool. Oh, wow. All right. What are these? Oh, cool. All right. So these are plastic chunky tokens. These replace these tokens. Oh, cool. Only, I don't want to touch these. These are for peasants. These are for the exclusive Kickstarter people. And the white tokens is once you get rid of this, you put a white token to show that you already did it. And then when this gets removed, you're really dead. Okay, what else we got in here? Cool. Big old die. I have no idea what these dice are for. All right. Cool. Oh, sneakers. These must be for movement. I don't know. Death. Oh, I don't know. Oh, cool. All right. I kind of knew this was going to come. See, this is like a little wood splatter. So it replaces this. Again, this is for peasants. The upgrade is this little blood splatter. And then this little hourglass replaces this token. And I don't know what this cool looking skull with a, I don't know what that token replaces, but it's got to replace something. That is so cool. Oh, cool. Extra action cards. Oh, and extra final girls. Layla. Cool. And then the ultimate dice. The ultimate dice. I don't know what the ultimate dice do. All right, I'll find out. I'll read. So there you go. This is the box of extras. And I'll close that later. It's hard to do. And then we got like extra Terror from Above miniatures. So this little birds. So this looks like a spoof on the birds, the heart, the Lovecraft movie. This I really like as I reach over for this. Lores and scenarios. So it's little stories of all the monsters, all the slashers that come out. And my wife was listening to me play, and I was telling her the story. So over here we got Makeout Point. There's always like two people in Makeout Point, and then you flip over this card. Let's flip over this card. What does it say? He came out of nowhere. Place Hans with the farthest targets possible and draw another terror card. So all of a sudden he just pops up over here with, where there's a victim over here, something like that. And then the next terror card. Let's go see if the rumors are true. Place 2 new victims in the space where the killer started. So all of a sudden 2 new townies just show up. And you just laugh because that's what they do. And over here we got different color meeples because some of the cards, like this one, is one of them. But one of the cards will tell you. Oh, here you go. I put it at the bottom and then I forgot. Boyfriend. So you swap one of the regular yellow ones for a blue one, and that'll be your boyfriend. So that the victim closest to you is now your boyfriend. If the boyfriend dies in your space, start the next action with 12. So you get energized. So instead of starting, you always start at 6 at the beginning. But if your boyfriend gets killed, the next turn you start with 12. So you hate to do it, but you kind of want to lead your boyfriend to get killed. But you also don't want him to die because every time somebody dies, it goes up. And Hans gets more and more powerful. It's just so fun, and it's such a clever little system. Again, I've only beat the game once, but I never claimed to be smart. I just like board games. So I'm gonna reset this up, and I'm gonna play one more time, and then I got to break it down because I got people coming over for a board game night, and unfortunately, this is a one player. But you like horror movies? You like board game? Come on over. There's my popcorn machine over there. We'll make some popcorn. We'll put on some movies up there, and you can come on over and we'll play some Final Girl. I'll sit in that chair and I'll just laugh at your helplessness before the awesome might of Hans.